What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Dead Noise. I'm Chris, and I am here in person with my favorite zesty frontman of the Pink Pony Club ass band, The Funeral Portrait. How are you doing, sir?
Howdy, good to see you, good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
That was a crazy intro there.
I felt like I put so much energy into the last one, I had to come correct for the rebounds. So.
Yes, no, that was good.
Especially with the new zesty,
oh
the
my
Pink
God,
Pony
dude,
Club.
I feel like the list just keeps adding to it. So, and I guess what he's talking about is, for people that don't know, because this is kind of part of it. I like to take like hate comments or whatever and turn them into things, positivity comments for our band. So like the Zesty AF one was like the crazy one that one went like pretty viral. That was pretty funny, and then now this the Pink Pony Club ass band or whatever. Yeah, that was funny. So we get them all the time, and I just post them because I think they're funny. So the new that one that was like, "You're not Gerard Way," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know I'm not, man. Like I know you're trying to make fun of me, but like whatever. It was just funny."
Has there been one hate comment that like made you step back for a second and you're like, oh, that was a good one? Like you weren't expecting that?
Ooh. I don't know. I think that my favorite still is the Zesty AF. I think that just was like, this guy just went down this list. He was like, because it was on the Five Finger Manson tour, he was like, I went and saw Five Finger Death Punch, and Manson and Slaughter's Reveal, and, and then the Funeral Portrait opened, and they sucked. The singer twirled around on stage with Zesty AF or whatever, and I'm like, dude, this has to be a T-shirt. So we turn it into a T-shirt, and then, the rest is history.
History was made for sure.
Yes.
Now, a lot has happened since the last time we spoke.
Yes.
It's only been like 4 months, but still, you guys have been relentlessly on the road, writing and recording.
Yes.
I want to start with the shows. So you had a couple big shows with these up-and-comers called the Used and Underoath. It was really nice
so
to bring them out.
up-and-comers. I can't believe that. Yeah, these up-and-comers, it's crazy.
So anybody who knows you guys and your band, like knows how much those two bands in particular mean to you. So I know it was just a handful of shows with both of them, but how was that experience?
It was incredible. We have one more with the Used still, which is on Monday. I think it is Monday. Yeah. So that's in New York City, and that's gonna be crazy. Like I think for me, growing up, I used to go see Underoath play in Atlanta at this place called the Masquerade. They would always play up in Heaven, which is like the bigger room, and they played 2 nights in a row. I always remember this, 2 nights in a row, because they would be able to they were like one of the only bands that I really listened to a lot that would be able to sell out that place twice. Yeah. It was crazy. And then of course the Used, I grew up absolutely obsessed with Bert, and I think that was just one of my favorite bands, and it's weird, now we have Bert on a song, it's on You're So Ugly When You Cry, and we have all these things. I was just like, what even is life most days,
This was also your first time meeting Bert in person, right? Like you guys
Yes.
had the whole process with the song.
Yes.
What was it like to finally meet him in person?
Insane. Because if back in the day, I know everyone's spoiled now with like meeting their favorite bands by doing like VIP meet and greets and like all that stuff. But like for me, we like growing up, that wasn't like a thing. Like that's a very new thing. So like, I think. I don't know, I just grew up like being like, oh, this guy is way over here. I'll never be able to meet him. I'll never be able to talk to him, right? And now you just can pay, $100 or $50 or something and meet someone, and that's cool. And I understand why. There's 2 reasons why. I think number 1, it normalizes people a little bit more, right? But I think it also it's a good way for bands to make a little bit of extra cash on the road, right? Where like that could pay for a bus, like you could easily, if you sell a certain amount of VIPs every single night, that could make you enough money to be, instead of an RV or a bandwagon, you could be or a van, you could be in a bus, and that's very, very important, so especially when you're on tour for a whole year.
Like you are
like
about to be.
Us. Yes. We still don't do VIP though, we don't. We're working towards it. Again, I want to be at a certain level. I want it to mean something, I think. Right now, I still love going to the merch table. I still love doing that kind of stuff because, like, I don't know, like, again, there's something about it. I don't want to charge my fans to exist right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
when it becomes a problem where I can't go to the merch table because it would be like 1,000 people every single night wanting to meet me,
Yeah.
right? It's like, okay, which like in Atlanta or some of our strong markets like Dallas or
Orlando.
Yes, Orlando. There's some of those. Yeah, exactly. Like there is 1,000 people there, and I'm like, God, why did I say I'll be at the merch table? And it can get kind of crazy, but I do it because I love it.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because while you were talking, that was the question that kind of came up to my head because, like you said, you and the band, whether it's Caleb, Rob, or just all of you,
Yeah.
you hang out at merch after every single show, but.
Yep.
But you're getting to that point where you have hundreds of people coming up to meet you. But I know how close you are with the fan base and everything. So what does a TFP VIP look like in the future?
In the future.
What would be your ideal market plan for that?
So I do like the idea of having, if I could afford it, right, I would love to have like one of our icons with us, right? So you're meeting the icons as well, kind of like what we did in Atlanta when we did our hometown Atlanta show. We had, after the show, at least Caleb and I were standing there the whole time, and then we had our Night Terror and our Angel, and I think for me, that's what I would really want to try and do is I'd really like to have that involved, where it's a little bit more than just the band, right? It's like a whole experience, and I would love to play like acoustic or something like that too, something fun, something a little bit more, singer-songwriter vibe, and then also, maybe do like I don't want to do a Q&A. I think those are kind of like, that's just asking for trouble.
Yep.
Right? Like,
I can already see it now.
Yeah, I know. I leave my DMs open already, so I get some weird questions already, but like, that's just like asking to be put on the spot. Mm-hmm. But I think for me, like, I would love to do something more, like make it on a whole event. So do like, I don't know, like like a carnival game or something too. Like make it carnival themed or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I want it to be unique. I want it to be different. I want people to get more bang for their buck. I don't want them to just spend $60 or however much a VIP is to like
picture in a handshake.
Yeah, like, and I want to spend time with people. I want to talk to them. I want to hang out. I want it to be a cool experience.
I'm glad you mentioned like possibly doing an acoustic set because I've heard your acoustics on like radio appearances and stuff, and it's a very different experience.
It is.
Are there any thoughts about maybe doing an acoustic EP or album in the future?
Maybe, we do these like quote Beyond the Abyss versions,
Yeah.
we got a new version of Stay Weird coming out on the record, and it's Beyond the Abyss, but there's still so many songs that could be Beyond the Abyssed, I guess we should say.
I love that.
But maybe we'll do a few more, I think people always enjoy that, right? So, I'm going to take it day by day.
Smart.
I don't know, but I do want, we are planning on doing like our big Atlanta show again this year. We don't know exactly when, but with it, I think we really want to try and do something. I think that's the first time we're actually going to do VIP.
Okay.
For the first time ever. Like, that's not like a radio contest or something like that, right? Like an actual paid VIP, but we're going to make it like a whole event. You know what I mean? It's going to be a whole thing. It's not just going to be the handshake, here's a poster, you know. Thanks,
Thanks for your money. Goodbye.
Yeah, which some bands, man, like, this is what it feels like.
Yeah, and it seems to be more common these days. But that also makes the people who put the extra effort into it, that makes them stand out even more.
Yes.
For example, Ice Nine Kills, their VIP is an experience. Yes. And speaking of Ice Nine Kills,
like when he like chokes you or something. Yeah. He can like do all that stuff. Yeah.
The first time I saw them, it was actually Rob was with From Ashes to New.
Yep.
And they were doing horror movie Jeopardy.
Yes.
And that was the coolest. That was the first time I ever did VIP.
That's what I want to do. I'd want to do something extra, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just that, because I think that's. I don't know. I think I just don't think it's. I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Maybe I'll bless people. You know, I'll get some holy water out and I'll bless them or something. I don't know. It'd be funny.
Like how Twin Temple does the anointing
yes,
or something.
Yes, yeah, with their
That'd be
blood
cool.
or like the fake blood or whatever they use. Yeah, yeah. That's a great idea, actually.
And speaking of Ice Nine Kills, they were a band that we talked a lot about the last time we spoke.
Yes.
Because obviously Spencer's a genius. They're one of the best bands out there.
They are.
But now you're playing shows with them this spring.
I know.
How excited are you to finally be hitting the road with those guys?
It's going to be crazy. It's weird because, we've done Silver Scream Con twice, right? And those were great. And the reason why I like those so much, sorry, geez, I'm yawning. Of course I am. I haven't had a Coke Zero in an hour. I got to have another one. So got to keep my caffeine level up. And if you guys didn't know, they brought me a nice big old case of Coke Zero. So can only. Hint.
Only
hint
cans.
Only cans. Only cans. Yeah, unless it's fountain. I do like fountain.
Really?
Fountain's great. Fountain can because that's a different Coke Zero.
I didn't know they were different.
Oh yeah, man. They're all different. The reason why I don't like bottle is just something about it. It's like too airy. I don't know. It makes me burp too much.
It's the microplastics.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. So yeah, but going back to Ice Nine, I think the Silver Scream Con for us has been incredible because we've gained so many diehard fans from it because that is the tip top of the Ice Nine Kills fans, right? Like that's where all the super fans meet. That's where they are. So for us, it's like why wouldn't I want to be there, but now we get to travel and do it. So, it's like 13 shows, something like that, 12 shows, 14 shows, something like that. But that's like, for us, it's just gonna be insane. I'm honestly, I have a good feeling about it because I know a lot of Ice Nine Kills fans already know we exist, right? And we share such a similar fan base, and I think it's gonna be a little scary. So it's going to be a little scary to be real. So,
well, it's going to be, in my opinion, it's probably going to be one of their biggest and best tours because they're pulling out all the stops, playing both Silver Scream albums, along with old stuff that they don't play anymore.
Yep.
So for you guys to be a part of that celebration is just so cool.
It's going to be weird.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I think it's going to be super weird, especially as soon as we start Suffocate City. It's going to be like, all right. Here we go. You know what I mean? It's just going to be weird. I don't know. I'm just very excited.
Stay weird, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, we got lucky. I'm excited. That Spencer decided that take a chance on us and give us an opening slot, and let's just see how it goes.
I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but what are the odds he joins you on stage for Suffocate City?
I don't know. That's a great question, right? I would love for it to happen, but at the same time, it's hard for him because he wants the big reveal. You know what I mean? Like it's hard, right? Because it's like
he's a showman.
He is, right? Now, could I maybe get him to do it once on the tour if I beg? Or slip him a new set of knives or something? Like sure, but like. I think, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see.
You two are also really similar in the respect that the way you guys end your sets these days, because when Ice Nine Kills, I think it was after Trinity of Terror, they started closing with Welcome to Horrorwood.
Yes.
Everyone was like, why? And now you guys are closing with Suffocate City,
right?
And it kind of sparked the same reaction.
Yep.
So I kind of want to ask you, like, is it because it's the biggest song right now?
I think a little bit like that, but also it just fits. And I agree with Ice Nine. They as soon as I saw them started doing that, right, and I was like, wait a second. That's the intro. Why are they closing? It was just a cool vibe, right? Like, I think for us, we just wanted something that was, of course, it's the biggest song, right? But I think it just hits. I don't know, like, because I guess technically, forever we had Holy Water as our ending song.
Yep.
Forever. Since 2019, Holy Water was always the last song. And I was like, guys, let's just try Suffocate City, and let's just see what happens. And then people are like, oh, my God. It just hits now. So we'll see.
I never look at Setlist before a show, so I'm really curious to see what happens tonight.
Lots of songs.
Yeah, because I know it's a headliner.
It's a headliner. Yep.
So how much more time, how many more songs do you play tonight compared to like the Ice Nine shows?
Wow. So Ice Nine, we get 30 minutes, right? So most support slots, we get 30 minutes. You know, the last tour, the Catch Your Breath tour, we did 40,
Right.
which was a direct support slot, right? So normally it's about, you know, the openers get 30. You know, maybe the opener, they get 20 or something, 25. So we get 30, and that's hard. Because people are like, so why are you not playing Voodoo Doll, or why are you not playing, you know, whatever it is, right? Like Alien, right? Yeah, why are you not playing Alien, or why are you not playing, you know, Chernobyl or Generation Psycho, or whatever
Doom
it
and
is that we
Gloom.
do, Doom and Gloom, or whatever, right?
Just play all your songs.
Yeah,
damn it.
Hearse for 2, whatever it is, and it's like, bro, we have enough time for 5 songs, you know, or 6 songs. You know, like what do you want me to not play? Suffocate City? You don't want me to play Dark Thoughts? You don't want me to play, you know,
You're So
Holy
Ugly When You
Water?
Cry.
You're So Ugly When You Cry? Like what do you not? You don't, like, I can't just cut those songs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'll be in trouble. Like, I'll get a phone call from my manager being like, "What are you guys doing?"
It's like Alice Cooper not playing Schools Out.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
Yes. No, it's true. And don't get me wrong, there is definitely some artists and bands out there that don't play their biggest songs. You go see them and you're like, oh, okay. Like,
Maybe next time.
well, it's like people know that, like, they're there to see that one song, right? There's
Yeah.
bands like that, right? I think every band has casual listeners, right?
Yes.
Yes, you'll have your diehard fans that know every single word to every single song, right? But there's still casual listeners, especially when you start doing radio and you start doing stuff like that, or the song goes viral or whatever it is. You know, again, this is no shade towards Catch Your Breath, but it's kind of the same thing. Is I saw them every single night. Kids were so hyped to be there, and some of the songs they were just bobbing to, but then it would be like one of the singles, or it would be, you know, like dial tone, right? And it just snaps, right? The same thing for like Bad Wolves. When we toured with Bad Wolves, it was the same thing until Zombie hit, you know, or, you know, and it's like you can't escape it, but you can embrace it, right? And I think that depends on it too, right? So it's like talking about like Holy Water. It's like, for me, it's like Holy Water or Suffocate City. I mean, like, I'll embrace them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll play them last, and I'll milk it, you know. And I'll if you want, I'll play it twice. You know, we actually did that. You know, we played Suffocate City twice one time.
Was that on purpose?
Yeah. So it was the night that we were told that it was #1 at Rock Radio.
Oh,
And
okay.
we were with Josh Balls up in, who used to be in Motionless and White. So he was the keyboardist for Motionless for a while. And we were at his venue. He owns a venue up in Pennsylvania. And it was like a radio show too. And that was like one of the big radio stations that really helped push the song. And
Yep.
it was crazy. And I was just so excited. And we got to, oh man, we got to you know, we finished the whole entire set, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, you guys want to hear, you know, Suffocate City one more time? And people loved it. They died.
That's
and
awesome.
they were like, let's do it. So we did it. We did it a whole nother time.
Screw it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I feel like Holy Water might eventually end up being the finale again, because it is on rock radio.
It is.
Featuring Ivan Moody from Five Finger
It
Death
does.
Punch, who almost never does features.
I know.
So
I know. I think we're the second one ever. Like, I think he did a Corey Marks song, like, you know, which is like a country rock song, you know?
and that fits his voice really well
Yes,
too.
it does. It does.
I was very pleasantly surprised, because when I heard when I just saw the title Holy Water featuring Ivan Moody, I'm like, okay, how's this gonna go?
Yeah.
But when I heard that, I was like, oh, this
trust
is amazing.
me, you have no idea, because that's like, it's hard when you write a song with someone. You're like, oh, okay, that's for their voice, right? But when you give them a song and you're like, sing this, you're like, is this even gonna work? You know? So it was like, and somehow we made it work, you know? And he just fit. It felt like he was supposed to be singing it this whole time.
And I know you guys are on the same label, but do you
Yes.
have the same A&R and like behind the scenes people?
We have a good bit of the same people. You know, oh my gosh, all right, it's a Coke Zero. I haven't had one. Got to go back and get one. You know, it's one of those things that we have like the same radio team, we have the same like management company. Like there's so much same now that it is very like it was kind of easy to make it happen. But really though, Ivan's not going to do something that he doesn't want to do.
That's true.
He's a true rock star. Like not in a bad way, in a good way, as in like the dude's busy.
Yeah.
So like if he doesn't want to do something, he doesn't have to do it. You know, it's not about money to him either. You know, he doesn't need any more money. The dude makes a lot of money. You know, they sell out arenas. You know what I mean? They headline festivals now, so they make money. You know.
I always look back to that Hershey show because I always see the pictures and the videos.
Yeah.
I know I didn't see you until the night after, but just looking back at that show, I'm like, that is such a gigantic moment. Like, and to think that bands like Five Finger and Manson, they do that every night.
Every night.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a little. You know, I get a little jealous, I guess we should say, because I'm like, man, I want that. I want to just show up and get on stage and perform to 20,000 people or something, 15,000 people or however many, and it's like, I want that. Why can't I have that? You know?
But I remember hearing you through the course of that tour that you had with them last summer, that even though playing in front of gigantic audiences like that was amazing,
yes,
you were also equally excited, it sounded like, to come back to smaller venues. So since the last time we've spoken, you've had a couple shows in both areas, some more. What were some of the lessons that you learned from that gigantic tour that you were able to bring to these smaller shows?
That's a great question. I think for me, a big one was that it doesn't matter the size, right? Just play your heart out, right? Like, because there was one or two shows on that tour that we played an hour and a half after doors, but there was so much traffic that only half of the arena was filled, right? Yeah. But then there was also shows that we played an hour and a half after doors, but it was a brand new venue that had incredible parking and everything. Like Bridgestone Arena, that arena was full. Hershey Stadium was full. Like it was like that, and there were so many others that were full because everyone was in, right? But we would still play it just as hard as to 5,000 people as to 10,000 or 15 or 20 or whatever it was, right? And same with here. Like tonight, like people don't come and play Charleston. Like
no.
They don't, right?
I'm glad
like,
you did, though.
Yeah, of course. And we're hyped to be here. But it's very, very rarely do you have tours come through here, right?
Yeah.
So like for us, like we've done some decent stuff since the Five Finger tour, right? Or since whatever, like growing tours, like tours that make us bigger, I guess we should say, right? Or like draw more. But like none of those big tours came even remotely close to here, you know? So it's like, or Richmond or wherever it is. Like we skipped North Carolina, South Carolina altogether with Five Finger.
I had to come to Maryland just to see you guys.
Yes, exactly.
It was worth it though.
I agree. It was. That was a great show.
That was amazing.
That was crazy.
I look back at 2024 in general really fondly because, like, I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you right now, but your music was kind of like the soundtrack to the last half of 2024 for me. Probably the whole year, but it really came to a hit.
Like when
getting
the
ready
came
for
out.
that show.
Yeah.
And
then
the album. And speaking of, you guys are gearing up for the deluxe edition of Greetings from Suffocate City with Holy Water featuring Ivan being kind of like the lead single.
Yes.
And you guys really pulled out all the stops. This isn't just like a basic, a live track deluxe edition. You have 3 studio bonus tracks, a physical exclusive bonus track, a couple live songs, the demo to my favorite song, Alien. So I really want to ask about the upcoming, like the new tracks. Did those come from during the writing sessions of the album, or was that from last December when you guys were in the studio?
Two of them are brand new songs that we just wrote. That we were like, if we're gonna release songs, why wouldn't we just release like songs that we want to do? I don't want to do just random B-sides that they didn't make the record on purpose, right? So we were like, okay, so 2 of the songs, which is Evergreen and Skinny Lies, right? Both of those songs are brand new songs. We just wrote and tracked them in January. So we were like, because there was these songs that I just really don't want to ever see the light of day, because I was like, listen, these are not Funeral Portrait. Like, this is just not what I want, you know? And then there was like Friends Like These is if unless you buy the physical copy of the record, either on CD or vinyl, you're not gonna ever hear it. You know, unless you use like LimeWire nowadays or something, you know, like whoever puts it up on Napster, you know what I mean?
Geez.
So it's not going to be on streaming, you know? So, you know, for us, you know, you just remind me too, we wanted to give people a deluxe edition, right? So we have that alternate version of Stay Weird. We've got the live version of Suffocate City. We've got that demo of Alien, right? And we've got Lost Boy. Lost Boy is a song that made from the record recordings. It just didn't make the record.
Okay.
So
That's what I thought.
we even played it live like once or twice.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That led me to another question, because I know for a fact I'm not the only one who's at least thinking this of, if not asking you. Where is Angel Wings?
Oh Lord. So the story of Angel Wings. So Angel Wings, you know, it's so funny because I've never like publicly really spoke about it, right? Through like maybe the Discord or through like a Facebook group or something, I've talked about it. Angel Wings was written in 2018. It was like this first batch of songs that we wrote as a band with Cody in it, right? And we were like, and we started playing it live a lot, and we were all super into it. We thought it was the lead single of this new EP that we were going to do. Then we got signed. And we sent all of those songs to the A&R, who is a different A&R now. At Better Noise, there was this older guy that was there, and he hated all the songs.
That's right.
And so he was like, this is never coming out. And I was like, I should have released this myself. Why did I hold on to Angel Wings? You know, and it's so funny because we've thought about releasing Angel Wings on this deluxe edition.
Oh, okay.
As
Angel
kind of
Wings
like
Lee's version.
Yeah. But what we decided to do is I think it's just going to be in the vault, you know? It's going to be like, if maybe one day, you know, if this band continues for another 10 years or something, it'll be like, here's the super deluxe of everything. And, you know, you can buy it and it's like a flash drive, you know, of everything. And
That's awesome.
it's just, the song got stuck in purgatory so much because we even shot a music video for it.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
And where
There's
is
a
this?
music video? You never know. The music video
Sir.
definitely will never exist. It was done on like a $200 budget. It was really bad. I mean,
That's
back
my
then we
budget.
were like uber broke, you know? It was like super bad. But it's funny how that song almost was released. But then we released, the crazy part, the plan was to do, sorry, God, there we go again. Holy Water and then Angel Wings. But we got signed off of Holy Water, and that
Right.
put a halt at releasing anything else.
That's crazy. But like you said, like that'll always be a part of the lore, kind of like the
Yes.
mystique.
Yes.
Because AFI had the view from here for the longest, and Jade's
Yep.
iPod.
Yep,
So now
exactly.
you guys have Angel Wings.
Yes.
Um,
Well, and like My Kim did the same thing. They
Yeah.
did that one show in LA before they scrapped the record that was then turned into Danger Days. You know, is they did the same thing, and they played like some of those songs. I think they played 2 or 3, if I'm correct. That one of them never existed ever again. It's not even on like the conventional weapons. You know, I don't know whatever happened to it, but it's, you know, I think the same thing is like bands do it to test, right? We tested. Everybody loved Angel Wings. We wanted to keep it. We were told not to. And then we were past it. Now we're past it. You know, now we're like, well, we could do better than Angel Wings.
that may be true. I'll never be able to say for sure because I've never heard Angel Wings. But yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe you can do like in 10 years like you did with Casanova.
Yep.
Angel Wings.
Exactly.
but in a 2035 context.
Yes.
So to that point, with these bonus tracks, I know you want to take your time with the next album because
Yes.
obviously it's a gigantic project coming off of the success of this.
Yes.
But how much of a sonic indicator are these bonus tracks going to be, if any?
I think they'll be closer. I think a lot of it is, if you look at songs like You're So Ugly When You Cry, right? Like, so You're So Ugly When You Cry, you know, Happier, I think Doom and Gloom. I think that side of the record is going to be a little bit more prominent, right? But we're also going to give you, you know, maybe we're going to do like a, you know, even super like Southern goth emo song, you know, like even deeper than Holy Water on this. You know, we're going to take a lot more risks on this next song, on this next record, I mean. I think Evergreen and Skinny Lies are going to be like we could have saved them for a record, right? I think, but I think for us, we have one song, maybe I'd say 2 songs that are like done, right? Like for the next whatever. But do I know what's actually going to happen? No. You know, I don't want to rush it.
Yeah.
I think too many bands, they go right back into the studio after a record and they rush it, and then it just, the record that they just released that is now finally getting momentum just disappears. There's so many people that haven't discovered our band yet off this record that I need to discover the band before I move on.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly valid because that's also how the sophomore slump happens, is by rushing into it. And I feel like even though this is your debut Squared album.
Yeah, debut record, yes. Because we don't play anything off of that record. So, the first one. So,
it's also awesome that we get to celebrate Greetings from Suffocate City a little bit longer because personally, I feel like in a couple years' time, the way that we talk about albums like American Idiot, The Black Parade, Sing the Sorrow, people are going to be talking about Greetings from Suffocate City.
Only hope, right?
so to be able to kind of celebrate that in real time as the cycle actually happens, I'm glad we were able to extend it with this deluxe edition too.
I think for us it's about growth, and I don't think we're fully reached the potential of this record yet, right? So I wanna live this a little bit longer, and then we'll go from there.
Here's a very important question. For the next album cycle, I know there's probably not a lot that you can say or not a lot that's planned out. What's the status of the green hair going to be?
We don't know.
Oh.
It's here now. You know, the hair, the matching shirts and the shoes and the stuff, you know, it's here now, you know. I think what we want to do next, you know, and I'll leave it at this, right, is what we want to do next is we want to take what we are doing with Greetings from Suffocate City and turn it up to 11. So bolder choices on the musicality, right, and the songwriting and the production and the themes and the lore, right? So that means bigger budgets for the music videos and the icons and the this and the that, but also the stage show is going to be what I envisioned and what we're going to pull off even to end the year off. You know, we're going to do a big Atlanta show like we did last year, and we're going, I'm putting on an arena size production in like a 1,400 cap venue.
I love that.
So that's what we're going to do, you know. We're going to do not just confetti this time, you know. We're going to do the whole thing.
Fire. Maybe not fire.
We can't do fire inside that small. I tried. Trust me, I tried.
Did you?
But there is a lot of other things that we will be doing. So
that's good to know. You don't have a date for that show yet, do you?
We're trying to shoot for November. So
my birthday's in November.
I know. I'll see you there.
You just might.
Yeah. I will. I know I will.
We're going to manifest it.
Yes.
Well, before I let you go, this is my favorite part of every interview. I have another speed round for you.
Okay, here we go.
So normally I have 10 questions and I just split them up into 5 depending on how many times I get to talk to somebody.
Okay.
But I'm going to play a game of this or that with you. And I've kind of, for 4 out of the 5 questions, kind of tailor-made it for you. Okay. So this is going to be the first time I've ever done this.
Okay.
Buc-ee's, brisket, or beef jerky?
Ooh, beef jerky.
Disney villains or Universal monsters?
Oh, don't do that to me. Oh, my God.
Epic Universe is opening next month.
I know. Don't remind me. Don't remind me. I already have a date picked out that I'm trying to go. So it's going to be, that's not going to be fun. I love Universal monsters, but I don't think I love Universal as a whole. And I'm not also a huge Disney villains fan, but I am a Disney fan. Right. So Universal monsters.
Okay. AFI or Alkaline Trio?
AFI. I do. Don't worry. I love Alkaline Trio, but I think AFI that was one of my first bands I ever got into. Mm-hmm. So like with Sing the Sorrow, like I'm old, so like I remember listening to Sing the Sorrow. It was like Silver and Cold, I believe, and it was on the radio in 2004, 2003, mm-hmm. and I used to listen to rock radio a lot then because my mom did too. And I still listen to rock radio, but like now it's more of Octane. I'm listening to a lot of Octane, and because in Atlanta we don't really have a rock station anymore. So 99X is just alternative. It's not rock.
Gotcha.
It's like, you know, that kind of alt stuff that I'm just not into. But AFI all day.
My man. Dark Thoughts or Alien?
Dark Thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dark Thoughts. I think it the way it has taken shape live too. I think it's really speaks to me, and I hear so many stories of people because it's about, you know, OCD, and that's something that so many people like don't know about. They just think it's because you want to be clean and stuff like that. Like no. Like this is the other kind of OCD. So.
And the last one. This might be the most important one, so think carefully. North or South Carolina?
Oh,
I kind of screwed you on this one.
No, I think, to be real, I'm going to say South Carolina. Sorry.
Okay.
I do like Greensboro, though. So I have family that used to live in Greensboro for a long time.
Oh, really?
But I like South Carolina.
South Carolina is nice.
Yeah.
Driving down here, I was like, man, I wish I could live in some of these areas.
Yeah, no, South Carolina, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Everything's cheap here. It's like Alabama.
Yeah. I just really like palm trees also.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing.
This area is really sweet. It's really nice over here.
Yeah, I love this venue, and I can't wait to see you tear it apart tonight.
It's going to be fun.
Well, thank you
Hey,
so much for the time.
Thank you, my man.
I'm so glad to see you again.
I'll see you in November for sure. I'm going to make it happen.
Let's
You can
do
maybe
it.
come do like a report or something.
Oh,
Make it a work trip.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm down. Well, thank you so much. I'll see you at Rockville.
Oh, yes. See you at Rockville.
And thank you to everybody for watching. And until the next interview, stay tuned, stay scared, and I'll catch you later.